You're standing at the counter, card in your hand, about to buy the same gun everyone keeps recommending. Reviews checked, forms read, feels like a safe move, so you go through with it. Then a week later, it's on your belt, and something's off. You're probably carrying the wrong gun right now, not because it's bad, but because you trusted what everyone else said before you actually lived with it. And yeah, I'm talking about the same popular 9mm carry guns you see everywhere. Recommended, reviewed, pushed as safe picks. A gun can feel perfect when you buy it, shoot great on day one, and still start working against you once it's on your belt all day. The small stuff, comfort, printing, confidence, doesn't show up until later. And by then, you've already paid for it and committed to it. So this list is simple. 7 popular 9mm handguns, but are they actually worth carrying? And one of them completely changes how you look at that. You look at last month, I was stuck into stop-and-go traffic on Loop 1604, heat pressing through the windshield, AC barely holding on, sweat running down my back, shirt sticking to my side, the Canik METE MC9. Prime sat on my belt like it always did. Light, slim, easy to forget. Exactly why I kept carrying it. Then headlights filled my mirror. Some guy in a lifted truck came up fast, riding my bumper, flashing his lights, laying on the horn like I had somewhere to go. Traffic was dead, boxed in, nowhere to move. My hand dropped under my shirt and found the MC9 Prime. And something felt off. The grip. Smaller than I remembered. Not at the range. Here. Sweat on my hands. Tension in my chest. Everything tighter. It didn't feel bad. Just less. Like I had less to grab. Less to control if something went wrong. For a few seconds, I sat there thinking, if he jumps out right now, is this enough? He swerved off at the next exit. Gone. Nothing happened. But that moment didn't leave with him. On paper, the MC9 Prime checks every box, disappears, comfortable, easy all day. Most days I forget it's even there. But that day, it didn't feel like confidence the way a bigger gun does. It felt like a trade. Less grip, less control, less certainty in my head, but still there, still loaded, still on me when something bigger would have been left at home. And that's why it stays. It doesn't make you feel overprepared. It makes sure you're not empty-handed. Man, that Hellcat Pro's everywhere now, folks. It feels overrated. That was the comment standing behind me at the range. I didn't argue. Honestly, I half agreed. Popular guns get pushed hard, and most of them don't live up to it. So I ran it. Not one mag, not a quick impression. I stayed on it. Drill after drill, draw, fire, reset. Again. And again. Long enough that the small stuff usually starts showing. Grip slipping, recoil getting messy, your timing falling apart if the gun isn't really there with you. That's where it changed. I kept waiting for it to get annoying. To start fighting me the way smaller guns usually do when you push them too long. It didn't. The Hellcat Pro just stayed with me. Not soft, not full-size smooth, but steady, predictable. Every rep felt the same as the one before it. I didn't have to correct it, didn't have to think about it. That's when it clicked. This isn't one of those guns people hype because it sounds good. It's popular because once you actually lean on it, harder than most people ever will, it stops giving you reasons to doubt it. Is it perfect? No. Still a little snappy compared to bigger frames. Grip's not for everyone, but this is one of the few that quietly earns its place. Because the longer you run it, the less you think about it. And that matters more than most people realize. And what came after this shifted the conversation again. This gun shoots too easy. That was my first thought running the Walther PD PF Series 3.5. Fast follow-ups, clean hits, grip locking in like it already knew my hand. It felt unfair. like it was smoothing over mistakes I should have been paying for. And that's usually where I get suspicious, because guns that feel that good on the range don't always hold up the same way once you carry them. Early this year, I had the F-Series with me after a quick range stop, still thinking about how clean it ran. Then I stepped out into a grocery store parking lot, keys in one hand, shifting stuff around, bending to grab a case of water, and that's when it started showing up. Not failing, not hurting, just there. Every time I bent, I felt it press in, reached for something. Shirt shifted, now I'm thinking about it again. Adjust once, then again 5 minutes later. Not because something is wrong, because it won't let you forget it's there. The PDP doesn't disappear. It stays in your head. On the range, you start thinking, why isn't everyone carrying this? Out here, you start understanding why some don't. The control is real. The confidence is real. This isn't hype. It actually delivers, but it demands something back every hour you wear it. And if you're not willing to deal with that, this is the kind of gun that ends up staying home when it actually matters. And the next one fixes that problem in a completely different way. I spent last Thursday driving all over East Texas, Houston to Lufkin and back, ass in the seat for damn near 10 hours straight. I stuck the Glock 43X MOS in my holster that morning, mostly out of habit, figuring the slim profile would start feeling like a compromise by lunch. It never did. Every time I climbed in and out of the truck, the damn thing just settled against my body without digging in. Seatbelt cinched across it for hours, no sharp edges jabbing my ribs, no hot spots burning through my shirt by mile 200. I stopped noticing it was even there. That low bore axis and the way the grip sits just refused to fight me all day, like most compacts eventually do. That pissed me off more than anything. I've carried plenty of comfortable guns that turn into a pain in the ass the second real life hits. This one didn't. It just stayed out of the way. No drama, no constant adjusting, no belt bite by the end of the day. Quiet as hell about it too. But here's the part that still rubs me wrong. I shouldn't have to like a Glock this much for all-day carry. It feels too easy, too willing to disappear. And that makes me trust it more, not less. These 43X MOS models aren't exactly rare, but if you're tired of guns that make you hate your own life by 3 p.m., this one just works. No argument. A buddy of mine on the law enforcement side stayed boring about pistols in the best way. No trends, no new hotness. His whole filter stayed simple. If a gun didn't give him control under pressure, he didn't want to hear about it. So when he said, "I've been running the M&P Shield Plus," I didn't laugh, but I didn't exactly light up either. In 2026, it's easy to roll your eyes at another slim 9mm, promising to be the perfect everyday carry. He didn't argue, just handed it over on a busy line and said, "Run it cold," timer beat. First string, I expected the usual micro compromise. Muzzle flipping, sights hunting, me working harder than I should have to. Didn't happen. The Shield Plus came back flat. Sights dropped right into place like the gun already knew where they belonged. My splits tightened without me coaching recoil. I stopped managing the pistol and started managing hits. My buddy just watched, nodded once, like he already knew where this was going. And that's what stuck. Not just how it shot, but how many other popular carry guns I'd been holding on to out of habit, instead of because they actually made my life easier. The Shield Plus didn't feel like a compromise. It felt like the thing I should have been carrying the whole time. And once you feel that, it's hard to go back. I walked into this one already biased. Every P365 I'd carried before had the same deal. High capacity and a small frame, but you paid for it somewhere. Grip felt off, recoil got snappy, or you spend half the day adjusting it. Good on paper. Different story after a few hours. So when I picked up the P365 X-Macro, I expected more of that. It didn't show up. I wore it all day. Light shirt, in and out of the truck, sitting, standing, running errands. The usual moments where carry guns start asking for attention. Nothing. No adjusting, no checking it when I bent over, no second thought, reaching for something. Hours went by before it even crossed my mind, and that's not normal for something carrying that kind of capacity. That's when it clicked. It stayed out of the way while still giving me a real grip, real control, and enough rounds that it didn't feel like a compromise anymore. And that changes things. Because once you carry something like this, it gets harder to defend the old trade-offs. It's not pocket small. Still a belt gun. And at that price, this shouldn't feel surprising. But it does. And the next one makes you question this one in a way I didn't expect. Rain hitting the windshield so hard it blurred everything past the headlights. I was already out of the truck when it felt off. Too quiet for a wreck. Then movement, two shapes coming out of the dark. Fast, wrong direction. No time to sort it out. My hand found the Glock 19 Gen 6 before my brain started making a list. Shirt cleared enough to know it was there. Grip locked in, body shifting behind the door, without the gun stealing my attention. Rain running down my arms, hands wet, but nothing slipped. No adjustment, no second try. It just came together. And that's the part that stuck. Not what they did, not what I said. The fact that none of my attention went to the gun. No thought about grip, size, capacity, none of it. My head stayed on them where it needed to be. That moment broke the same way it started. Messy. No clean line. They backed off, disappeared into the dark. I stayed there a second longer than I needed to, just letting everything slow down. That was the line I couldn't ignore. I've carried a lot of guns this year. Better on paper, smaller, higher capacity, easier to hide. But when things got unclear, I didn't think about those. This is the one that shows up without asking anything back. It's not the smallest, not the easiest to conceal. Nothing flashy about it, but I stopped trying to beat it. And once that happened, everything else started feeling like an experiment. So now it comes down to one question. Which of these actually stays on you without turning into a problem you keep fixing every hour? Because that's the part nobody tells you before you buy it. Comfort and trust don't always show up in the same gun, and every single one on this list gave me something to deal with. Printing, recoil, grip, something that kept reminding me it was there. Even the one at the top isn't clean. It works, yeah, but I still don't like one thing it does, and I haven't shaken that yet. It sticks with you. So tell me what you actually carry all day without messing with it, and which one you ditched halfway through because you couldn't stand it anymore. I'm Steve, and one of these still hasn't earned it.